Hi, today we'll be talking about share certificates. Whenever an investor invests money into the company, for him to prove that he is a member and a registered shareholder of the company, he needs to have this document called the share certificate, which is an acknowledgement of the amount that is actually paid into the company. We go by the details of the share certificates. We have the company name. The company name will be the Singapore company that has been incorporated. It specifically mentions that it is incorporated in the Republic of Singapore under the Companies Act. Then you have the Uen number. The Uen number again stands for the unique entity number. Share certificate. An important point to note over here is when there is only these words which indicate share certificate, it talks about an ordinary share certificate. If it is a preference share certificate, then you will have the words preference before the words share certificate. We see the number of shares. For example, an investor has 50 shares. The number of shares will be mentioned over here. The share certificate number will again depend upon the share certificate that has already been issued or yet to be issued. It has to fall in sequence. So this is determined only the company can determine the ordinary share certificate number. The OS stands for ordinary shares. If it was preference shares, like I mentioned earlier, it would stand as PS. We go to the text of the document. It says this is to certify that the name of the shareholder. We are just taking an example of a company, a corporate shareholder. So we have the name of the corporate shareholder, the registered address of the corporate shareholder, assuming that it's an Australian corporate shareholder. If it is an individual, it will be the name of the individual with the residential address details of the individual, and then the rest of the text mention that they are the registered holders of, indicating the exact number of shares. I'm just assuming it is 50. This would have been substituted with the words 50. Here I'm just taken 78,504. Ordinary equity shares of the currency has to be clearly indicated in the share certificates and the value of each of the shares. And this also mentions that it is each fully paid in the share capital of the company. The company here refers to the Singapore company. That's why I have left it as Singapore Pte Limited, subject to the memorandum and articles of the company. Just to sum up, this entire text would read as this is to certify that the corporate shareholder with registered office address in Australia are the registered holders of say 50 shares, 50 in words, ordinary equity shares of SGD1 each, fully paid in the share capital of the company, which is a Singapore company, subject to the memorandum and articles of association of the company. Every share certificate will have to bear the common seal of the company. The common seal would have a red sticker on which there will be a self-embossing seal. When I'm talking about an embossing seal, it is a metal seal which will be self-embossed with the name of the company, the Uen number of the company, and which will also mention that it was authorized, that it was, or this share certificate was signed on this date. When they talk about this date, there has to be the necessary resolutions in the books of the company on this date. This has to be signed by either two directors or at least one director, and the next one can be a company secretary. And whenever there is a share transfer from that respective corporate shareholder, this share certificate will need to be submitted to the company for its cancellation so that the new share certificates can be issued. And hence we have also mentioned the details saying that the transfer of any shares cannot be registered without the production of this share certificate.